All right. Many of you wrote in about my coverage yesterday of Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s candidacy. The reactions were all over the map. People saying, David, you're wrong. This is God's gift to politics. Or, David, you're wrong. He's way worse than what you're saying. He actually has no redeeming qualities, and you're not being tough enough on Bobby Kennedy Jr., maybe because you know him. I know him. I sat with him at dinner once. And then people who said, I appreciated you giving some context about Bobby Kennedy Jr. I want to be super clear. The negatives about Bobby Kennedy Jr. are single-handedly disqualifying of him as an even remotely serious presidential candidate. And I'm going to give you examples today. So I'm not going to be wishy-washy and act like, well, there's pros and cons and maybe they cancel out, so maybe you vote for the guy. No, what I'm telling you is, although there are some things about him that I like, there are concerns so bad that they are uniquely disqualifying. I'm going to give you one example, okay? Tonight, Bobby Kennedy Jr. is hosting a so-called health policy roundtable. You can RSVP and participate if you want, okay? This health policy roundtable is being held with dangerous vectors of disinformation, many of whom we've covered on the program already. These are not just, folks with slightly different views about vaccination or whatever. These are dangerous and in some cases seemingly certifiably insane lunatics. And hosting a health policy roundtable with these people is single-handedly disqualifying. Take a look at this. Mr. Kennedy will meet with leading critics of prevailing health policy, including Dr. Joe Mercola, Dr. Sherri Tenpenny, Dr. Pierre Kory, Dr. Patrick Gentempo, Maureen McDonald, Del Bigtree, Mickey Willis, and Sayer G. Let's go back to Sherri Tenpenny in a moment, okay? These people, many of whom we've talked about before, Joseph Mercola is a widely known purveyor of pseudoscience and conspiracy theories, fined by the FDA for making false and misleading claims about his products and COVID-19 treatments. Dangerous, not a serious person, okay? Pierre Kory advocates for the use of ivermectin as a COVID treatment or cure, despite the fact that there's no actual randomized controlled trials showing that that works. Patrick Gentempo, chiropractor and entrepreneur who made an anti-vax documentary. That's who Bobby Kennedy is meeting with. Maureen McDonald, holistic health educator who is anti-vax and spreads false information about vaccines. Every single one of these people. Del Bigtree founded an anti-vaccine group, produces propaganda movies. Mickey Willis, activist who also promotes vaccine disinformation, has been denounced by serious medical experts. Okay, so all of these people. And then, of course, Sherri Tenpenny. If the name Sherri Tenpenny rings a bell, it's because we've talked about her before. Here is self-described vaccine expert Sherri Tenpenny explaining that this year, folks, it's almost July and it hasn't happened. This year, every one of us will have 5 or even 10 people we know dead from the vaccine.
Now we're seeing the tsunami of deaths that I've been talking about since the beginning of 21.
Right.
Millions of people are going to die. You know, when Judy Mikovits came out on Plandemic at the beginning of that and said that more than 50 million people are going to die, and everybody was like, whoa. And when they started interviewing me and they asked me, what did I think about that number? I said, it's way too low. It's going to be much more than 50 million people in America alone. And we're already starting to see it.
We're not.
So the tsunami of deaths is coming. It's already here. And I believe that...
Remember, Bobby Kennedy Jr. is having an event tonight with this woman as if she is an expert on health.
What's happening now and is starting to happen now is the tsunami of regret of the people that fell for the lies. Your friends and family members and parents and children and all they did to your grandchildren just could not be told otherwise. But now that people are dying like flies, I mean, my business partner has 83 close people in his life that have died.
I don't even believe her business partner has 83 close people in his life. Never mind 83 people that have died.
83. It's the beginning. And I predict that by the end of this year, every person in this room and every person listening behind here is going to know a minimum of 5, probably 10 or more close friends and family members that have died from these shots.
Okay. We're almost in July. Now I understand we've got half of the year left. I don't know a single person that's died of the vaccine, and everybody I know is vaccinated. That's who Bobby Kennedy is having an event with. One more Sherri Tenpenny clip just to really drive home how insane this is. Here she says that vaccinating kids is a form of child sacrifice.
This is happening in America, people.
Right.
And it's your job to stop everybody you know and wake them up and shove it in their face. And if they defund you off of social media, who cares? Now it's about trying to save unborn babies and pregnant women. It's about they now are actually starting a trial to give these shots to 6-month-olds. This is child sacrifice. This is the resurgence of child sacrifice from the days of the Babylonian mystery schools.
Yeah, and then she goes into religious nonsense. All right, folks, so listen, I think it's great that Bobby Kennedy wants a higher minimum wage and wants to deal with homelessness and whatever. This event is uniquely disqualifying. Let's dig in now a little more into his view on vaccines.